Hello and welcome back. You see, I kept my promises. So today we are still on the play Antony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare. And like I promised in my last video, that I was going to come up with the plot summary. So yeah, here I am and welcome. So I'm going to be taking it act by act. So today I'll be analyzing Act 1, and it's going to be a long video, so listen, stay glued to it, and I promise you, you would love it. All right, so let's start. Okay, so I have my jottings here, so once in a while I'll be looking at my jottings. Yes, so the play opens with messengers, coming in to the scene and having a chit chat, a discussion about Antony. The play opens in Rome. Sorry, the play opens in Egypt, where two messengers from Caesar comes in, and before Antony and Cleopatra walks in, they were having a discussion, a kind of gossip, like I told my students today. They were actually having chit chat about Antony, his lifestyle lately, how he abandoned, political leadership, and he's faced with the Egyptian lifestyle. So they were just talking about him, and I want to note one of the things they said about him. So from the book, nay, but this dotage of our generals overflowed the measure. And dotage means foolish love. Yes, dotage means foolish love or obsession. So they were just saying a lot of things about his foolish love for Cleopatra, and then they even talked about Cleopatra, how authoritative she is, how proud she is, and they said a lot of things about her, how excessive she is. And they also noted that what's his name now? Antony's love for Cleopatra is excessive, and it's become a problem. Yes. So moving on, they noted how before Antony had the spirit of duty to the society, political awareness, and authority, but now he has less of those things, less or none of those things, and it was as a result of his love life in Egypt. So while they were still talking, Antony and Cleopatra walks in, and Cleopatra was being fanned. You know how kings of these days, how they fan the ones who watch in movies or do, how you fan them. So Antony, that was how she walks in, being fanned by, let's say, her maidens, and that alone suggests the kind of life that contrasts with the kind of life in Egypt that contrasts with that of Rome. Remember, figuratively, I said in my last video, figuratively now, Rome signifies a place of duty, political awareness, seriousness, whereas Egypt, it's the opposite. It signifies a place of luxury, pleasure, emotions, love, and all those, sweet things. So, but unlike Rome, that is a place of seriousness. So see, Cleopatra walks in being fanned, and that alone signifies the kind of luxury and pleasure that happens in Egypt. I hope that makes sense. Let's continue. All right, so the scene following that scene was Cleopatra questioning Antony's love, and she was like trying to tell Antony that if it's love, okay, let me quote it verbatim. She said, "If it be love indeed, tell me how much." She wants proof, not words. And I was telling my students that you can imagine a situation where somebody is trying his or her best to please you, to love upon you, and then you are still doubting what do you want from the person. And then you see Antony responding to her, saying that love cannot be measured. In fact, he said there is beggary in the love that can be reckoned, meaning that a love measured is poor love. Yes, Someone should not have a reason for loving you. I think that makes sense. Someone shouldn't have a reason for loving you. How much more trying to measure the kind of love he or she has for you? But this Cleopatra goes ahead to say that she wants, as a matter of fact, she wants to decide how she will be loved. That alone tells us how proud she is. She wants to be authoritative, even in love. Haba. It's funny, right? Oh, that's literature for you. So she wants to be authoritative, even in love. Moving on, while Antony and Cleopatra were talking about love matters, a messenger enters, and that entrance alone signifies call to duty. And then when he enters and he passes his message to Antony, it angers Antony, and he was like, it grates me. Like, he was so offended that why would you interrupt me in this sweet moment I'm having with Cleopatra? Why should he interrupt me with Roman matters? It grates me, please leave me alone. And you see, Cleopatra, because she's authoritative and she's somehow she sarcastically tells Antony, why not listen to them? It could be Fulvia, that's Antony's wife. I didn't tell you, Antony is actually married, so it could be Fulvia being aggressive, complaining, or it could be Caesar, that that was this way she described him, but it means this young and bossy leader that tells you, do this, do that, I want you to do this, I want you to get this society, I want you to fight this thing. It could be so answer. So she sarcastically says all those things, and that tells us a lot about her personality. Yes. All right, moving on to scene 2. So I'm going to be looking at my jottings to note the characters in scene 2. So we have Chairman, we have Alexas, we have Iras, we have Tutsia, we have Enobabos, and they were having fun, playing and taking drinks. So while all of these were happening amongst themselves, they were just gisting, having fun, just drinking and having a good time. Cleopatra walks in. And then her presence was immediately felt because she started dishing out instructions, commands. She started dishing out instructions. She was just so authoritative. She was just so authoritative. I remember while reading the book, there was a place that noted that described who she really was. She was so beautiful. She had a lot of people, admirers, and even the late Julius Caesar also admired her. So that was how beautiful she is. Yes. So, and I'm not surprised. Why won't Antony, do anything for love for her? You get the point now, right? Okay. So moving on. So she gives command to the messengers to look for Antony and bring him. She was actually looking for Antony. I feel she's caring. Yes, she is. Although she's caring in a manipulative way. Yeah. So she was like, okay, look for Antony, bring him, and then Antony comes in with some Roman messengers, and that alone triggers Cleopatra, right? So she said she was not going to see him, and then she deliberately leaves. This is an emotional blackmail, right? She deliberately leaves just so that Antony could feel bad, guilty, and emotionally withdrawn. She really wanted to control him emotionally. So the messengers that came brought news of Fulvia, that's Antony's wife. And what was the news? Fulvia was involved in a rivalry, or let me say war. Yes, she had fought with Antony's brother. Yeah, as Lucius, Antony's brother, right? And afterwards, they became allies, they became friends, and ganged up against Caesar, fought with Caesar, that is Octavius Caesar, and Caesar defeated them. So they brought news of that. That alone destabilized Antony now. It destabilized him, and he knew that there was no how he was escaping. In fact, his authority was under pressure. he knew that duty called. There was no how he was escaping duty this time around. He knew that he had work to do. So that alone,